Hey everybody, meteorologist Brad Panovich with your Ski Southeast forecast update. Going into the weekend, this has probably been the best week of weather in the Southeast as far as cold temperatures and natural snow, honestly, since really back in late November, early December when we had that early cold snap, and then we've kind of been all over the place. So it's actually been a pretty good week. I've been really impressed with what's happened up at Beech Mountain and up at Snowshoe as they've opened more terrain, and just the pictures for people, it's just been unbelievable. So going into the weekend, we're going to see another system approaching the southeast. This one is going to be a pretty warm system, but it will be cold enough in the mountains that we're going to see snowfall with this. So a real good chance of seeing snow across many locations of the southeast. I do think we'll see that snow breaking out in areas from, I would say, essentially around northern North Carolina, the northern mountains there, and then traveling all the way up into parts of South Carolina, up into West Virginia and Western Virginia. So pretty good setup there. I was hoping my telestrator worked, but it's not really cooperating with me, so I'm going to use my other one. But you could see that there's pretty good snow in there, even though it's surrounded by rain. And this is one of those things you got to remember with these setups, that even though you're not seeing snow where you are, there's usually snow in the mountains in this case. And in this position, it's really about 4,500 feet and up that I think we're going to see the best snow. And then on the back side of this, I think there's a little question of how much this is going to materialize, but a pretty good northwest flow event continues on Saturday, and I think even into parts of Sunday, especially for parts of West Virginia, Maryland, and maybe even a few sections of North Carolina. But you see that northwest flow in clouds, and typically these have been overproducing a little bit this time of year. By the time we get to Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to see most of that snow out of here, but temperatures will be nice bluebird day shaping up for Sunday. So here's the snowfall forecast, and again, this is just looking at our RPM model. I do think there could be some higher amounts at some of the higher peaks, especially with the amount of moisture, but you get the general idea. A general 1 to 3 with an outside chance of 2 to 4 in some of the favored locations. So as we look at your forecast for this weekend, some natural snow, not a ton, Friday and Saturday, and I think a little bit on Sunday, some snowmaking, but next week you're starting to see the signs of, hey, we might have another little warm up here early next week, which is certainly going to bring in the potential for some rain and maybe not some snow as I adjust my camera there. So just something to keep in the back of your mind as we look in the long range. And just real quickly, looking out long range snowfall, there's the weekend snow. Next week, we've got a lot of rain until the late week system. If you notice, between Friday and Saturday, another uptick in snow in the southeast. I'm intrigued by the pattern late next week. Everybody I know that's a winter weather lover is like, it's a big warm up early next week, but the systems late next week are marginally close to some cold air tapping into them, especially for our northern resorts of West Virginia, Virginia, and Maryland. So that's a pattern to keep an eye on for next weekend. I think there's a potential that first full weekend of February, the 7th, 8th, 9th, could be somewhat decent. So keep your eyes on that pattern. Even as things warm up early next week, don't be deterred, because there are some signals. We're right on that fine line between getting something decent and maybe something not so great as we look ahead. So as always, everybody, please think snow. I've been so happy with this week as far as snow and cold is concerned. No major systems heading our way, no Arctic outbreaks here in the next 7 days. We still got a long ways to go in this winter. We've had a pretty decent season, all things considered. And I love February and March, because I'm telling you, that's when we get our biggest storms, and people tend to start moving on from the ski season. And in my opinion, it's some of the best skiing of the entire season, late season, even into April some years, especially for areas in West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland. Those areas can be amazing into early March. Have a great weekend, everybody. If you're heading up to the mountains, shred it up for me. And as always, thanks now.